Greetings from Museumplein in Amsterdam, where sometimes helping people register to vote can get you in trouble with the police. Spoiler alert, it was totally not their fault. United States of Europe making fun of the EU the American way. To review, the Trump administration since the 15th of June has been separating immigrant families at the border and locking up their children to prevent terror. Even terror group ISIS was like, wow, I wish we'd thought of that. In fact, just last week, the Trump White House reportedly diverted $10 million from FEMA, the disaster relief agency, to the ICE for locking up more kids. When survivors of the hurricane start asking for relief funding, the Trump administration might have to respond by locking up their children. They were crossing the border illegally into Virginia, and believe me, North Carolina is not sending their finest people. Trump is less concerned about rising sea levels, totally fake, and more concerned about rising levels of people who aren't the same color as him, which is hard because he's orange. So when Families Belong Together organized a protest march in Amsterdam, I decided to go. And there were so many people there. Friends, family, young, old, American, non-American, quite a few non-Americans. In fact, some anti-Americans. I was like, hey, easy with the death to the great Satan stuff, okay? You know they're writing down all of our names on some file. Now to keep things honest, on the day, my job was to find my friends from Democrats abroad and help people register to vote, to go up to people with my nice white shirt and American flag that was not ripped or shredded. 3 times I got asked the same questions. What are you doing here? And I was like, I'm registering American citizens to vote. And every time the follow-up, vote for who? Yes, people assumed I was a Trump supporter. The final guy was so up in my face, I was like, dude, I know you think Trump voters are stupid, and you may have a point. But seriously, if you think I came to this march to convince people to vote for Trump, at least you gotta admire the chutzpah. So the dude called the cops on me. They claimed I was disturbing the peace because this one dude who was from the International Socialists, apparently he thought I was not anti-Trump enough. Little did he know. You see, since it was a protest, I knew there would be protest signs. Like, I don't really care, do you? Not even a little. And the only baby who belongs behind bars is Trump. Ha! And then there are these famous ones. Make Orwell fiction again. Just undo it. This episode of Black Mirror sucks. I wanted to bring a cool sign too. And I didn't just want to preach to the choir. I wanted to address white people who leave comments like, I'm afraid white women are too weak and bound to fall prey to non-white men. I wanted them to see a tall white man who was proudly holding a sign saying, white power turns you sour. But instead of people reacting like, yeah, they were like, are you Mr. White Power? I said, hey, what do you think, I'm this guy? Anyway, I needed a new sign. For my second sign, I wanted a twist on hashtag MAGA, Make America Great Again. But it's already been taken, Make Racism Wrong Again. Or there's this twist from an actual Tennessee congressional candidate, Make America White Again. Or this version of Make America White Again. I was like, you know what MAGA really means? It means Make America Genocide Again. So this was my sign, which had no irony at all. People just assumed I was advocating genocide. So that was the point when this socialist dude came and got up in my face and he's like, oh yeah, Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, I know you from Breitbart. I was like, mistaken identity. And for my third sign, I honestly thought this would solve the problem. I wanted a sign that would promote multicultural society. I wanted a sign that would say to white nationalists, we have nothing to fear from people of color. But the sign came out, POC, don't threaten me. So that's when the police came up and they were like, hey, if you want to avoid arrest right now, maybe you should destroy these 3 signs. And I was like, yeah, that's fair. I was so in the wrong. I felt like a terrorist. And so I sentenced myself to a lot of hours of community service. Specifically, I'm hosting a fundraiser for the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, on the 30th of October at Cafe Mesrab in Amsterdam. See the link below. If you come, you can be reunited with the mama of Mesrab, Parvin, who will probably make soup. Newsroom, it's a newsroom. Listen to the sound of the newsroom. Anything can happen in a newsroom. News, 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 news.